All right. I even put this in my dear friend Gamma this morning to make sure it had something to follow. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay. So today we're going to talk for Workshop Wednesday. We're going to talk about just 5 listing appointment shifts that you can make to ensure that you're winning the listing deal. So really listings are won or lost before you even show up to the door. And we all know, like, the market's changed even just in the past 2, 3 years, where what you did in 2021, 2022 isn't working now. I mean, let's admit it. What we did in 2021 and 2022 was we showed up and got them to sign listing paperwork. We agreed on a price. We threw it on the market. There wasn't a lot of conversation that had to be done. And now there's a lot of pre-work that needs to be done, a lot of conversation that needs to be done. So today we're going to give you kind of 5 shifts. Some of it is like physical things you can do. Some of it is kind of a mindset shift to make sure that you guys are able to win your listings. Okay. So the shift number 1, you need to think about your pre-appointment positioning. I'm going to move your all faces because I can't see my screen here, but the pre-appointment positioning matters more than ever now. There's 2 things that are going to happen in this pre-appointment positioning. 1, you are positioning yourself as the professional with the client. And 2, you are setting your mindset to remind yourself that you are the professional. So it's a mindset shift and a shift in how they view you, a psychology shift as well. As soon as you get the appointment, like within 30 seconds, you're going to send a text confirmation. Why do you guys think we're going to send a text confirmation? Because we're professionals. If you make a doctor's appointment, what happens as soon as you make that doctor's appointment? You make a hair appointment, what happens as soon as you make that appointment? You get a text confirmation. Or have you ever bought something online and then all of a sudden, like, you don't get a receipt or a text confirmation or anything, and you're like, did I just put my info into the wrong site? Is this right? So you're going to send a text confirmation because you're a professional and that's what professionals do. Then you're going to send a calendar invite that has the time and the location that you're going to meet them at, the contact info, all of that. Now, these 2 things can be pretty easy to do. If you guys have a Calendly account, you can set this up so you can schedule the appointment yourself right in Calendly like they scheduled it, and it's automatically going to send them the text and the calendar invite if you have your settings set up the right way. But you're sending them the text confirmation and the calendar invite to secure that spot on their calendar and to remind them that you're a professional and you set appointments with them. You're not just some guy that's just popping in willy-nilly, guy or girl. Now, I probably should have had these reversed where give homework was first. When you're on that initial conversation talking about the appointment, you're going to give them homework. You don't go to your CPA and not bring something with you. You don't go to your attorney and not have something in mind that you're going to talk to them about or have something that you bring with you, right? Because they all kind of give you homework or have an expectation that you need to bring something to make that meeting meaningful. And so you're going to use some sort of language like, hey, before I let you go, to make sure that we are utilizing the time most efficiently and that I best understand how to get you and your family positioned to get the most equity from your home, I want you to think about a few things before I get there. Number 1, we need to know how much you owe on your home and if you have any home equity, lines of credit, whatever, have that information available. But number 2, I want you to think about what would be a win for you. If you sell your home, what would feel like a win for you? Is it price? Is it timing? What's your end goal? What would feel like a win for you? And number 3, I want you to think about what type of professional you want to work with to help you get your home sold. That will help us get prepared, can have a great conversation when we get there. And you just kind of lead into that. You're giving them homework. So you're not asking them things on the spot that they're not going to have and are going to have to get back to you with. And you're just kind of foreshadowing that you're going to talk to them about what's a win for them with when they list their home, when they sell their home. Is it price? Is it timing? Is it what is important to them? And then it's going to be you're going to help them understand, like you're going to ask them like what they expect out of an agent too. Yes, Matt.
I love all this. This is super good. Um, uh, on the homework side, I love putting in something that's like a trial close that is like some of the things I say is at the appointment, if you have an extra key for the front door, have that ready for the appointment and then set it next to, and then I'll send them also the disclosure paperwork and I'd say, print this out, take a look at it. We're going to go through it at the appointment, but have it there and begin compiling like all the dates of any of the updates or upgrades that you've done to the major mechanicals, the roof, etc. Have that at the appointment. So when I come into the appointment and I shake their hand and they go, awesome. And I go, perfect. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to take a quick look at the property through the eyes of the buyer. We'll meet in the kitchen. Do you have, and then do you have the stuff that I had sent over? And then if I look over and I see disclosure and a key, how confident do I feel about this appointment? Pretty confident. At this point, it's like, don't mess this up, right? Like, don't say something stupid for them to put the key back in their pocket, right? So those are the kind of things I like to send as well. I love this, the text confirmation, the calendar invite. I'm going to also suggest how we frame it really, really matters. So don't just put Smith's listing appointment. Like, really, what is it, right? We're going to talk about a competitive marketing strategy session.
Yeah.
It's not a listing appointment because now all of a sudden they feel like a lead and a consumer. Nobody wants to be a lead and nobody wants to be a listing.
Yep.
That's what we say. But if we say comprehensive marketing strategy session, that sounds sexy. I want to be a part of that.
Sounds like you're a professional.
Yeah. So
You did
anyway,
great.
two
Yes.
little tips, two little tips there on this beautiful gamma presentation.
Um, pre-listing packet, we've talked about that before, like having a listing presentation, having pre-listing packet. I've showed you guys our boxes before we use for FSBOs that we also take to listing appointments. Just have something tangible for them. There's a psychology behind that. If you give someone something, they kind of feel indebted to you. So have something in there. It can have your bios, your testimonials, your marketing strategy, and you can either bring that with you to the appointment, or a lot of people like to drop it off ahead of the appointment. Can go either way, but just make sure you have something. And then you're going to do a 60-second video. So you're going to have like a QR code on your pre-listing packet, or you're going to do this as a on the run video. Do you guys know what on the run videos are? So you got a camera here and you're kind of moving around. You're on the go, right? You're busy, but you're taking the time to give them send them a video. And one that I'm going to stop sharing for just a second so I can have you guys see my whiteboard here. One that Justin has taught us that I think is very beneficial with listings. Can you guys see my whiteboard here? You could do an on the run video and you're gonna have these people and you're gonna have a little house here and it's gonna be like 1, 2, 3 Main Street. And you're gonna have little bubbles going off like this, and you're gonna have all these things that you're gonna do for your marketing strategy, right? You're gonna have, I don't know, flyers, you're gonna have call Jane, I don't know, like all those different things, right? That you're gonna have, and you're gonna do this on the run video, and you're gonna say, hey, I'm so excited to meet you tomorrow. My team and I have already been working on the best marketing strategy for your home. I'm really excited to present it to you tomorrow. We'll see you at 2 p.m. Right? So you're working for them. This whole whiteboard effect makes them think you and your team have been planning a strategy for them that's going to help sell their house quick. So I love that idea. You don't have to do the whiteboard. You can also do something that is more
Can I
around.
pause real quick? I've got some really
Yeah.
cool news that I just saw. I don't know if you saw this, Michelle. Um, who's your favorite author when it comes to knowing what to say?
Chris Voss.
No, the what to say real estate edition. Who's
Oh, who is the other? What is his name? I can't even remember. Yeah.
Phil Jones?
Bill Jones. Yes. Sorry. Da, da, da.
He's now part of our family.
Oh, yay. That's exciting.
Yeah, he just joined.
Very
So
exciting.
anyway, sorry, segue. What to
Yes.
say? What
Build the
the
real.
expert in what to say real estate has now partnered with us. So cool.
Very
Just
cool.
wanted to
That's
share that real
really
quick.
cool. Sorry, you caught me off guard. So I'm like thinking and switching gears back to like, who, what? Um, okay. So that's the pre-appointment, right? Just remember that you're not just showing up, you're pre-framing the experience and establishing that you're the leader before the door even opens. And then the other thing, when you walk into that door now, you're going to frame your value in the first 3 minutes. So this is number two. You're going to frame your value in the first 2 minutes. Um, and you're going to really just start it by I'm here to help you walk away with the most equity in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress. You're going to say the goal today is we're going to talk about what's important to you in selling your home, what's important to you in an agent, and what, by the end of this appointment, we're going to decide if we're in alignment to work together. You're going to set that stage for them so they know exactly what you're going to talk about. And at the end, that there's going to be some conversation about are we the right fit? Now, you need to make sure that you're positioning yourself as a strategist and not a salesperson. And there is a quote or a saying that I think is absolutely true. In the absence of trust, there's tension and objections. So you're doing this step one and step two to position yourself as the professional and help build trust because we don't want that tension and we don't want those objections. So it's just helping you build confidence with them or their confidence in you and then setting you apart from the real estate world. Number three, the third shift is replacing the language around the CMA with the equity story. So instead of saying, okay, we're going to go over your market analysis, okay, we're going to go over your equity story today. We're going to help you understand what's happening in the market and what the equity that you have in your home. So when you're sitting down and having that conversation with them, you want to make sure you're prepared. Did you do your homework? Do you know about the parks, the school, the area itself? Or did you just show up and you're like, yeah, I kind of know this area of town, I'll wing it? Know about some of those things. The more you talk about some of those things and name drop about some of those things, the more they're going to see you as the expert in that area. Make sure you're presenting different scenarios. Like I think at this price we would get a lot of traffic. At this price, it might sit a little bit longer. At this price, we could really, spark some competition. So giving them some options so they don't feel like you're just telling them a number they need to go with, that they feel like they're making the right choice and the right decisions. And then make sure you're connecting to their goals. So that you've already given them that homework. You're going to have that conversation before here about what is important to them in selling their home. And now you can, link your pricing strategies to whatever their end goal is. So it's really important for you to get to Florida here in the next 60 days so that you can be there to help your mom. I would recommend the best strategy to get there is going to be pricing it at doing this kind of marketing, da da da. So like link it to their goals and those emotions, that emotional aspect of things to help them to kind of drive them to the decision that you want them to make. And then just remember you're providing data, but you're really giving them a strategic insight. They don't want to try to interpret your data. Your data is there just to give you credibility. Like, I got it from this source. Here's kind of the thing. Like, help them interpret that. Give them the strategic insights. One of the conversations I'm having with clients a lot right now is we use our data from our local market and we incorporate that into our listing conversations. And it's really easy to say, as you can see here, we're in a neutral market. Now, what I can tell you is 6 weeks ago, we were in a seller's market. We shifted fairly quickly and we're continuing on that downward projection. So that tells us we're going to potentially get from neutral to buyer's market here fairly quick as well. So we want to price ahead of that market. We want to price ahead of that decline instead of trying to play catch up. So just telling the story and interpreting that data for them, so that they can make a decision. Really, again, it's all using the language. I guess this does go back to Phil, right? Using the right language to make them feel like they're making that choice, but make them feel like helping them come to those conclusions. And then make sure you're presenting your systems, not just your marketing. So have like a branded one pager to leave them that shows what your systems are, what your process is, what you're going to do for them. People trust systems. People trust people with systems. When they see that you have this repeatable process, this is just the normal of what you do, they start seeing results instead of risk. So you're going to want something that looks a lot better than what Gamma came out with here, that has all the pieces in your listing strategy there, and that just shows what you're going to do. I would not use, I don't know how many of you guys have seen those sheets that probably 250 agents in your area are using right now, where it just has all the things like Zillow, Redfin, and like all the websites that you're going to, that their listing is going to be out posted to. I wouldn't do something like that. Or if you do, make that a very small section of your box, because everybody can do that. But what are you going to do that's different than what they've seen from someone else? Make sure you put that into a process, and then talk about like your system. This is how we talked about this, I think last week, where it was like just setting the stage up front. I'm going to contact you every other week. I'm going to contact you every week with updates. That will look like an email in your inbox. That will look like a text. Having your process down so they know what to expect and when to expect it, will help you not only sell them on you being the listing agent, but also will help eliminate some of that friction that you might have down the line because you've talked about it early and you've set those expectations early. Do any of you guys currently have a system that you talk about in your listing presentation? A system or a process that's other than what you're doing for marketing? Okay. Sounds like we all could put one of these together.
Well, so we 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 would run on we'd have a launch strategy, and then a based on how the launch strategy goes, we're either fielding offers or then we're preparing for our long-term push. And so we would list on a Wednesday or a Thursday, blast it, have two open houses, and then just post and let all the agents know we'll be reviewing any and all offers on Sunday. Um, that's it.
Yeah. And
And
I
so
think
that's our launch, right? So that gives everybody the opportunity to see it Thursday, Friday, come back for their own personal second showing Saturday and Sunday to be able to present their best offer by Sunday evening. And yeah.
I like that. And if you had that down in as part of your packet of this is what we're going to do, you're just saying it with such confidence that this is what we're going to do, this is what we do, right? And they're going to think that's perfect. You know what you're doing, you're experienced, you have a process, and they're not going to question, well, shouldn't we list on a Monday? What day
Right.
should we list, right? That's for me, having even just the confidence in when someone says, when should we list? Being able to go into that. I don't have anything in writing, but we do the same thing. We typically list on a Wednesday, a Tuesday, or a Wednesday. That way we stand out from all of the listings that flood the market on Monday. That gives us ample time to prepare. We want to have an open house the first Saturday or Sunday following your listing, just to build up that hype and get people excited about your house. So I think that's no one ever says, I want to list at a different day. They just trust us to go with the day that we've stated because we've just said, like, this is what we do.
So again, if we go back to what are the three things everyone's looking for from you as their agent, they're looking for expertise, insight, and strategy. When they say, when do you think we should list? Say, okay, based on my experience, here's what we found as far as the best day to get listed and why. Right? We're going to list on Wednesday. It's going to hit everyone's inbox. You're going to be one of the few listings that shows up because everybody's either coming on a Monday or a Friday. And then so now they can schedule their showing for Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday. And if they love it, we're going to make it really easy for them to do a second showing that's going to be completely low pressure. They can come in on their own with their agent or with their contractors. And we'll even put a note, bring your tape measure on Saturday and Sunday. We're not going to review, and we'll let the market know we're not going to review any offers until Sunday night. And then so we've given our expertise, we've given insight as to why, and then we've got a complete strategy and say, hey, and then now this goes back to, especially if they're going to want to price at the high end of their market, I'm going to say, okay, here's what we're going to do. I feel like based on what we talked about, like we're in range, but it's high. We'll know for sure in the next 3 days whether we hit it or not. And if we didn't, the great news is we can adjust soon enough to where it doesn't look weird. So we can position ourselves on Wednesday. If we do it right, we're going to have multiple offers over the weekend. If not, the market's going to tell us that we missed. And then we have enough time to course correct for Monday to be able to still get you to where you need to be at the time you need. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions?
I didn't realize that was considered a system. To be honest, it's just something that I've done for such a long time.
So have you done
Like
it more
that.
than once? Have you done it over and over?
Oh, I do it every time. Like
Then it's a
literally, I have a
system.
that's what I mean. And people a lot of times are like, well, what if we end up getting an offer on, on Thursday? It's like, well, once we put it out there that we're gonna wait and look at offers on Monday, then we need to wait and look at offers on Monday. And I said, because when you were looking at houses, you know how you felt like whenever an agent would say they're looking at offers on Monday, we'd have an appointment booked on Saturday. And then I'd get a call on like, I mean, I'd see a canceled thing on Friday night and they're like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's why you don't want to, you don't want to do that. And I said, plus, if somebody wants your house on Thursday, they're going to want it on Monday. And if they don't want it on Monday, they are not they are not the buyer that you wanted because they were going to find another way to get out. And I really, the only thing is that you said about, like course correcting. I'm like, I've course corrected really fast on some of the houses that I have listed recently, and some of them have still not sold quickly. Like even though we've made corrections extremely quick, so that's led me into telling people right off the bat, that if we aren't fortunate enough to get it under contract that first weekend on the market, I've led straight into letting them know exactly when they're going to hear from me every single week. And that, and I remind them as soon as if we don't get the offers, I remind them right away. So going forward, you're going to hear from me, every Wednesday. And, obviously I'm still here if you have any questions or anything, shoot me a text or whatever. I will get back to you as fast as I can on it. But I do tell them I touch base with you on Wednesday. That's kind of the day that we're going to kind of look over like how the listing's doing and everything. And of course, if they get any offers, they'll hear from me right away. And it's helped a lot telling them they're going to hear from me on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think that makes a huge difference, just setting those expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, handle objections before they even ask. So just be prepared. You know what objections they're going to ask up front likely. So handle those objections. You can have it be part of your presentation even. Like, a lot of people ask, can we list higher and test the market? If you're like most people, you're thinking, can we list higher and test the market? Well, in my experience, this is what happens. Or there are two types of people who price within market value and watch their home sell fast, or people who price high to test the market and end up selling at less than market value. Just using those phrases and addressing those objections.
Or selling someone else's house
Yeah.
because they seem like a better value.
Yeah.
So I love the word here. A lot of people use, can't we just test the market? And so my favorite response to that, have you guys ever heard, is the good news is I brought the answers to the test. Here's
Oh,
the
I like that one.
We don't have to test it. I have the answers here. Here's what people are paying right now in real time. So the good news is we already have the answers to the test. Now, do you want to get an A or do you want to get a D?
Yep. I like that. We are quickly at time here. Any thoughts, questions before we jump off?
None of this works if you don't lead generate, make some calls, set some appointments. Having a great listing presentation sucks. If you have no appointments, get on the phone.
What
That's
magic?
it. That's it. Don't get caught in like making this beautiful listing appointment. If you haven't called 25 people, go.
And we'll be back on Mando Grotto Friday, which was not.
Sweet.
All right, guys, have a good rest of your week.
Later.